Let's go back to the Gulf and a new flashpoint, more specifically to the Strait of Hormuz, where a South Korean oil tanker was seized by Iran. The Iranian forces say that the ship was held because it was polluting the Persian Gulf with chemicals. But only the naive would believe that justification. Iran was basically flexing its muscle, showing its dominance in the region, and in doing so, sending a clear signal to both South Korea and, more importantly, the United States. This development comes at a time when there is rising tension between Iran and the ongoing Trump administration. On Monday, Iran resumed enriching uranium once again. Now, this is a significant breach of the 2015 nuclear accord and was done to retaliate against Washington, D.C. The U.S. had withdrawn from the agreement in 2019 and reimposed sanctions against Tehran. Iran is also angry about the killing of its top nuclear scientists, which Tehran blames on Israel, an ally of the U.S. So how did South Korea, a small country in Asia, get caught up in the middle of the Iran-U.S. tensions? Our next report has all the details.
On Monday, a South Korean oil tanker was traveling from Saudi Arabia to the UAE when it was flanked by Iran's Revolutionary Guards. It was escorted by Iranian forces to the port city of Bandar Abbas. All this occurred in a narrow stretch of sea called the Strait of Hormuz. Just around 21 miles wide, this strip of sea between Oman and Iran is the most sensitive choke point for all global oil supply. All tankers carrying crude oil from ports on the Persian Gulf must pass through this strait. To give you an example, in 2018, the daily oil flow in this area averaged 21 million barrels per day. This is the equivalent of about 21% of the global petroleum consumption. This is not the first time that Iran has seized ships of other countries. It has a history of seizing ships, especially if they belong to countries which have disputes with Tehran. And South Korea is currently not in Iran's good books. South Korea is withholding billions of dollars of Iranian oil export revenue. Seoul is following US sanctions against Iran. South Korea demanded the immediate release of its vessel and dispatched its own forces to the area. This comes just days ahead of a planned visit by South Korea's Deputy Foreign Minister to Tehran. Analysts say seizing the oil tanker was Iran's bid to force South Korea to come to the table and discuss repatriation of the Iranian money. So far, Iran remains defiant. A government spokesperson today said it's the Korean government holding Iranian money hostage.
If there is any hostage taking, it is Korea's government that is holding more than $7 billion, which belong to us on baseless grounds.
But Iran's move might have backfired. A South Korean foreign official has said that the deputy foreign minister's visit was now up in the air, and the country's focus was now to free the 20 crew members of the ship. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.